Chapter 13 Progress Without Coherence. Progress is rarely questioned. It is assumed to be self-evident, inherently positive, and directionally correct. Growth, innovation, expansion, and acceleration are treated as markers of advancement. Yet many systems progress rapidly while becoming less stable. This chapter examines why progress without coherence does not lead to endurance, and why it often accelerates collapse. The seduction of forward motion. Movement feels reassuring. Action creates the impression of agency. Expansion signals success. Change suggests adaptation. Systems that move forward appear alive. Stillness feels dangerous. Reflection feels slow. As a result, systems equate progress with motion rather than alignment. They prioritize direction over integration. The system advances. Its internal relationships lag behind. Growth as proof and as distraction. Growth is often used as evidence of correctness. Revenue increases. Influence expands. Adoption rises. Visibility improves. These indicators are persuasive. They are also incomplete. Growth measures reach, not integrity. It reflects external uptake, not internal coherence. Systems can grow while accumulating internal contradiction. Growth distracts attention from structure. The larger the system becomes, the harder it is to perceive misalignment. Innovation without integration. Innovation introduces novelty. New tools, processes, models, and capabilities expand possibility. Innovation is celebrated because it promises improvement without sacrifice. Integration is quieter. It requires reconciling new elements with existing structures. It demands recalibration of roles, responsibility, and capacity. Systems that innovate faster than they integrate accumulate fragmentation. Innovation increases energy. Integration maintains coherence. When integration lags, progress destabilizes. The fragmentation of advancement. Progress often occurs in parts rather than as a whole. One function advances while another stagnates. One department innovates while others struggle to adapt. One domain accelerates while surrounding structures remain unchanged. This uneven advancement creates internal strain. Interfaces become stressed. Communication degrades. Responsibility blurs. Dependencies multiply. The system appears advanced. Its components drift apart. Speed as a false metric. Speed is commonly mistaken for effectiveness. Fast decisions, rapid deployment, and continuous iteration are praised. Slowness is framed as inefficiency. Speed amplifies whatever configuration exists. If the system is coherent, speed increases effectiveness. If it is misaligned, speed accelerates failure. Speed does not correct structure. It exposes it. Progress that outruns capacity. Capacity determines how much change a system can absorb. Progress introduces change. When progress exceeds capacity, stress accumulates. Roles blur. Feedback weakens. Trust erodes. The system compensates through effort. Effort masks capacity limits temporarily. It cannot expand them indefinitely. Eventually, the system exhausts itself. The myth of linear improvement. Progress is often imagined as linear. Each step forward is assumed to build upon the last. Gains are expected to accumulate predictably. Complex systems do not behave linearly. Advancement in one dimension can degrade another. Improvements can create new vulnerabilities. Solutions can introduce dependencies. Linear thinking obscures nonlinear consequence. Progress as narrative preservation. Progress narratives maintain morale. They reassure stakeholders. They justify decisions. They create continuity. When coherence declines, progress narratives intensify. Systems emphasize success stories to counter internal discomfort. Narrative replaces examination. Progress continues rhetorically while structure erodes silently. The cost of deferred coherence. Coherence requires reconciliation. Misalignments must be addressed. Tensions must be resolved. Boundaries must be clarified. Deferring coherence allows progress to continue uninterrupted. The cost accumulates. Deferred coherence becomes compressed correction. Integration postponed becomes restructuring forced. The system pays later for what it avoided earlier. When this is ignored. When progress is pursued without coherence, systems experience instability despite success. They achieve milestones while losing resilience. They expand reach while weakening trust. They innovate while fragmenting internally. Correction appears to undermine progress. It does not. It addresses what progress ignored. Progress and the illusion of momentum. Momentum feels like inevitability. Systems in motion assume continuity. They extrapolate current trajectory into the future. They discount structural warnings as temporary friction. Momentum delays reflection. The faster the movement, the harder it is to stop and examine configuration. Why progress often masks decline. Decline rarely appears as reversal. It appears as increasing effort for diminishing return, as coordination difficulty, as escalation of control. Progress masks these signals by maintaining outward indicators. The system looks successful. It feels strained. Scaling before stabilizing. Many systems scale prematurely. They expand reach before solidifying structure. They multiply operations before clarifying responsibility. They increase complexity before strengthening feedback loops. Early scaling magnifies small misalignments. What could have been corrected locally becomes systemic. The internal cost of constant advancement. Constant advancement exhausts adaptive capacity. Systems need periods of consolidation. Integration requires time and attention. Without it, fatigue accumulates. This fatigue is often misinterpreted as resistance. It is structural overload. Progress without pause. Pauses allow recalibration. They provide space to assess alignment, absorb change, and restore coherence. Systems that eliminate pauses eliminate self-correction. Continuous motion prevents reflection. Reflection deferred becomes crisis imposed. The difference between advancement and evolution. Advancement adds capability. Evolution integrates capability. Systems that advance without evolving accumulate tools they cannot coordinate. They possess options they cannot evaluate. Evolution requires coherence. Without it, progress becomes burden. Why progress feels like obligation. Once progress becomes identity, stopping feels like failure. Systems feel compelled to continue advancing to justify past decisions. Momentum becomes obligation. This compulsion overrides structural warning. The system advances because it must, not because it can. Progress as load multiplier. Progress multiplies load. Each advancement introduces new dependencies, expectations, and obligations. Capacity must expand accordingly. When it does not, load shifts elsewhere. The system compensates until it cannot. The quiet cost of success. Success increases expectations. It raises performance thresholds. It reduces tolerance for error. It increases scrutiny. Systems that succeed without strengthening coherence find themselves trapped by their own success. Correction becomes more painful. Coherence as the governor of progress. Coherence governs sustainable progress. It determines how much change can be absorbed, how fast adaptation can occur, and how long stability can be maintained. Progress without coherence accelerates instability. Progress with coherence builds endurance. Closing constitutional statement. Progress does not guarantee stability. Movement does not ensure alignment. When progress advances faster than coherence, systems weaken while appearing strong. Endurance is not achieved by constant advancement. It is achieved by coherence that can sustain it. End of chapter 13.